This video, I'm going to do a little bit of a customizing tutorial on how to fit heads using O-rings. We're going to be using a couple castings I made. I've recently taken up to try to learn how to cast, so these should be good to use for this tutorial. To fit them, and I always use like O-rings to fit my figures. This one I've already pre-fitted. As you can see, I've dremeled out the inside and fitted some O-rings inside the head. This one already fits the 80th anniversary body. A friend of mine asked me if I can fit one of these to the head and to the 80th anniversary figure and paint it up for him. So I figured I would just go ahead and film up dremeling out and installing some O-rings to fit it to the body. How someone can do this. All right, let's get started. To do this work, we're going to be needing some various Dremel bits. These are the various sizes one I got found to use. I use the flat-headed ones to dish out a section after I hollow out the head to seat the O-rings into. This is for cutting in bevels into the O-ring. And for clearing out the center of the O-ring. And I've got a standard barrel Dremel bit to remove hog outlaw material outside the head to hollow it out. So right now I've got a little bit of material to remove. I had any kind of super glue should work, but I like using Loctite. And to speed things up, I'm going to use some Instaset to make the super glue harden it immediately. And if you're working with resin heads like these, I suggest using a respirator. This stuff dust flies out of this stuff everywhere, and it's a mess. You expect to have a lot of cleanup after messing with resin head castings like that. Also need some O-rings. Already knew what size to use since I did the ironclad head already. What I bought this set of O-rings off Amazon. Didn't know exactly what sizes I'll be needing doing this stuff when I start putting O-rings in heads. It comes a little size chart. For standard Marvel Legends heads, these 1/4 by 3/8 works great. For the 80th anniversary head, we'll be using the 5/16 by 7/16 O-rings. Alright, let's clear off our workstation and start the dremeling. Put away anything you don't want covered in dust. Put my respirator on. I like this rounded bit to concave the bottom of the heads a lot. Dish them out. Alright, we'll switch our bits up and get back to dremeling. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Matched up with I was looking at referencing the ironclad head I fitted before. It dished out pretty well. A lot of this is trial and error, especially when you're working on like castings like this. We'll have to do some test fitting. A little bit more cleanup, but as you can see, this resin makes a mess. I will need a drill bit to hog out the material for the hole for the head. It keeps from burning up your grinding bits. You can just use a drill bit to cut through it pretty quickly. Now that way till we have the head hollowed out and dished out, it should be good enough for what we're working on here. Now we want to find or look at, I just use the eyeball and try to find the center point where I want to put drilling my hole out for the head. That's a guide reference to work from. And let's go ahead and get our drill bit installed. And we have our drill bit installed. We'll slowly start. The drill bit should cut right through this resin really easily. You can see it grabs a hold of the drill bit quite a bit, so it makes quite a mess. At least it doesn't throw it everywhere. You can't really see what you're doing, and you have to stop every now and then and clean off your bit. Then you want to be careful too, where it cuts through it so fast. And this was for a different project. Sometimes I'll take a tape and mark the depth so I don't go too far. And let's cut out a little more material. If you have a sharp bit, you can just cut right through the resin. Use it like a cutting bit. I'm just watering the hole out bigger. Let's clean this up and take a look. We still have quite a ways to that diameter we're going for. We need to have be able to seat one of these at the top. Actually, we're going to do 2 of these double stacked. We're getting close. We're now. Let's switch to our rounded bit here. It is actually pretty close to the diameter we're going for. Okay, let's do a little test fit to see if we've drilled out enough for it to fit onto the ball joint. Oh, perfect fit. But we want to, right now without having the O-rings, it's going to be loose, just the nature of the material of the resin. It's too hard for it to seat properly. So we're going to dish out, take this bit here and dish out an area where we can seat in a couple of O-rings, double stack. So like when this one goes on, nice and tight, you can hold it holds the figure, and you get the nice little pop when you take the head on and off. All right, let's switch over to this flat round bit. And now we're at a good depth. We just want to go down deep enough to seat the 2 O-rings. A little more speed. Okay, let's test fit the O-ring and see how it fits. It looks like it fits really well in there. Let's see it down on the lip. What we want to do is take this one back out. You can see there's enough gap where we're going to put a double stack another O-ring over top. So we're going to take this one out. Bring out our glue. It's good to have a little tool where you can push the O-ring down onto the seat down on that lip. This is where it's good to have your Insta set. You can spray it in there, and your glue is set. Here you can see is the O-ring. Nicely glued in place. And we're going to go ahead to stack another one on top of that one. Put a little more glue. And we're going to add a little bit more around the edge. If you don't have Insta set, you can actually just let this sit. I would let it sit overnight before you start dribbling out the whole socket better. But with the Insta set, it's done. The glue is set up. And there you have 2 O-rings installed. But now right now the O-rings are going to be a little bit too small a diameter to fit back over the peg. We're going to dribble them out a little bit, a bit like this, and just bevel the edges inside with my Dremel. This is the process where it's going to be a little drill a little bit, test fit, drill a little bit, test fit. Still needs a little bit more material taken out. I'm going to switch to this bit where I can ream the inside of the O-rings out a little bit. All right, let's do a little more dribbling. There we go. We have fitted head to the 80th anniversary. I am going to take just a tad bit more material out. It's slightly a little too tight. Not much. Cleaned up my edges too on the top. That should do it. There we go. Nice little pop on. We're going to have one smart Hulk head, fit it to the 80th anniversary body. Nice and firm. Get a good little pop when you take the head off. And there we have it. Next step is prepping the head for paint. Alright, thank you for taking time to watch the video. I hope you learned a little something. And be sure to like and subscribe, and for more tips and tricks on customizing.